apartment complex, and her neighbors were having a party one time. And this was the year where he was getting a lot of complaints to the school I was at. So he got really, really drunk at the neighbors. We didn't know them. And they had to carry him over back to my aunt's. He was just really, really sloshed. And he was just like screaming at me. And when my aunt got back, she was like screaming at me that I needed to go stay somewhere. So some people the neighbors were going home and heard, and they took me, and I didn't know them. They didn't speak English, and which is whatever, that's not about that, but like I had to share they only had one bed, and so I shared a bed with 5 strangers, husband, kid, wife, that didn't speak the same language as me. It was a really long night because we got there at like 2 a.m. And it was just a really, really, really long night. And then because of that, we got kicked out of my aunt's, and then I went to 3 different schools that year, then 2 the next year, and then a few months went by. He got with this woman, and he started drinking a lot more. She was a drinker too. And then that's when he just kind of snapped again, in the car. Like, he was driving her son home, and I went to go like get the radio, and he just jammed my elbow back. And I guess they were one of the people who told the school, and I had come to school with some bruises, so that was like their last straw. That was the 5th complaint that he had gotten that year. And he still blames me too. Like, he says that I never told. I was actually really scared of him. It wasn't long after that I had stayed the night at a friend's house, and she had a bunch of family over for her brother's graduation. And the next morning they're like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" I was having night terrors, screaming, woke up her whole family, that I was scared that my dad was going to come and kill me. And that was why I got strong too. That was the year I started going to the gym. I started working out a lot. And then I came back to live with him when I was 17. So then when I was 18, I started going to beauty school. And I started getting a little bit of financially, not too much. But he had told me, so I told him, I was like, so I'm going to put aside my bills, gas, and groceries. And I told him that whatever I had left over, that I would give to him. And he completely freaked out on me and was like, if you don't give me every penny of your financial aid, like, you can't live here. Well, he was much meaner about that, but basically I couldn't live there unless I gave all of it. And so I had moved out, and he didn't talk to me for 6 months. He had a gambling problem at that time too, so that really didn't help. And then the next year, a bus had hit my first car that I had. It was parked on the side of a road, or just in Salem, and the person was drunk, I guess, and so they had hit my car. And obviously I needed a new car. The bus company had wrote a check for $1,500, and my dad was like, hey, if I give you more than what you give, if you give me half, I'll give you double that if you help me get a Harley. And so I was like, maybe that's a good deal. And so I helped him. I did it. And then he ended up giving me his van that he paid $400 for. And then I had found out, he had just told me this a few years ago, I actually ended up getting another check too that he cashed in his name. And so if you're like, I don't know if like it's even worth it to try to reparent basically my parent, then that's totally up to you. He wants me to tell my story about it for multitude of reasons, and there's other things too, but just to let you know, like, that I understand that. I understand that. It's hard to know, like, what is it worth it? And for me, I think that, especially after hearing more of his story lately, because I had my guard up, and when you have your guard up, it doesn't allow other people to come in. And so I had to be self-aware of that recently, that I do need to be more patient. I need to let my guard down and be aware of what that looks like too, and be vulnerable. Since I've been more vulnerable, he's been more vulnerable, and he's even like, this is stuff I've never told anybody, and I cherish that, and it's allowing us to get closer. First few weeks of being around him again, though, was really, really hard. It was really, really hard. And I see how trapped he is, and I see how much everything